Welcome everyone to this week's very special episode of Dad's on Wrestling. It's not really very special because it's just, except the fact it's a different day because we just had an issue yesterday. So, yeah.
We pretended our name was Mystico.
That's right, we did. We were the Sin Cara of the channel yesterday. I am, of course, Jeff Meacham. This man right here is the Renegade of Wrestling. The man followed by Natalia herself, J.J. Williams.
That's right. The now turned heel Renegade of Wrestling, apparently.
Yes.
After the last show we did.
Where
I told people to fuck off if they didn't like the fact that I was tired.
We were all tired of that. They can fuck off, seriously. I've been telling people that for 10 years. And
yeah, but for some reason you're still a babyface. You're like CM Punk.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like you tell people off and people still love you, but, you know, I do it and all of a sudden I'm a heel.
Let's try something else. I love John Cena. See how much you love me now. John's the man. Woo! C-Nation, Word Life, and all that shit. Hate me now. God damn it. Alright.
What are you doing? Putting over John Cena or talking about Rico Dynamite?
That's right. Either way, it's all good because John's got big shows coming up each and every month, and PPW's got a big show coming up very, very soon. So, it's all good. But we have a cornucopia of coverage here. We have many things to discuss, all of which came from the world of Twitter.
And Facebook.
And
social media.
Social media.
Well, our main topic was the one I told you about earlier, remember?
Well, that's true. It was a Facebook thing. I just found it on other websites since then to confirm that it had been posted. However, I do question the source that these people named. Because according to this little news brief that you're just going to read off verbatim, came from WWE Facebook. Not on there. However, I will have JJ read this and then we will discuss.
Yes. I originally discovered this post in my Wrestling Commentary Central group that I'm a member of on Facebook. And it says, and I quote, "Breaking news. Raw Insider and sources close to WWE say that Paul Levesque, Triple H, has been promoted to CEO of WWE effective October 15th, 2012. Vincent K. McMahon will officially retire at a ceremony which will be held during Monday Night Raw that night. Sources say that everyday operations will be immediately handed over to Mr. Levesque the following day." So.
Now, like I said, this thing says it came from WWE's Facebook. I went to WWE's Facebook. I also went to WWE.com. I also went to corporate.wwe.com. This news bit does not appear on any of those websites, so take it for what it's worth.
However, it would not be the first time that WWE had posted something.
Yes.
Realized they let the cat out of the bag of some potential ratings and pulled it.
Right. This could be the single biggest game changer. No pun intended. Seriously, there wasn't. I did too. There really wasn't a pun intended there. The single biggest game changer in WWE history. Even bigger than Vince himself taking over back in 1982. Because at the end of the day, Vince stepping down leaves the company in direct control of Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah.
And is that or is that not a good thing for the company in the day? Because from what we have been told, Triple H has pretty much been running the show for the better part of a year and a half now, along with Stephanie. And what we've seen the last year and a half has not been the greatest product put out there.
It has been better in a lot of ways than recent memory, but it still has not been great. I mean, Raw is now 3 hours, and by the time the second hour is getting underway, most of us here are starting to fall asleep.
Seriously. They made the show 3 hours thinking that it would increase viewership and increase everything, and from what I have seen, other than Raw 1000, it's pretty much been status quo, par for the course. And I'm also hearing that this 3 hour thing is going to be a very short-lived scenario because of the ratings not doing so well. Which, honestly, if this 3 hour Raw, these 3 hour Raws are the best Triple H stuff they can put forward, worries me about the takeover.
Very much so. I mean, they've basically completely obliterated the Divas division, which they're saying is going to be, par for the course anyways, because Trips is not too fond of the Divas. Triple H is supposed to be trying to reinvigorate and repackage the tag division, and that is going to be his focus, but that the Divas are pretty much going to fall by the wayside.
Which, at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of pissed off viewers, a lot of pissed off female viewers at the end of the day as well.
However, the ones that can actually work will end up on Impact.
Right? Which, granted, aren't that many left, because they're already there, except for, like, Natalya,
And Beth.
Beth Phoenix, and Tamina, and
Eve to a certain extent.
And at the end of the day, Beth probably would, Tamina probably would, Eve probably would, but I take that back. Natalya probably would, but would Tamina, after all that the WWE has done for her family and everything, really abandon? I don't know if she would or not. I guarantee the Hearts would in a heartbeat because of all the history. Fuck you, and whatever, bye. You know, Tyson would be like right along with it, like, see ya.
You just have to remember, at the end of the day, it was Triple H's brain spawn that put the screw job in place in the first place.
Exactly. So, if they were to screw the Divas, I'm sure Natalya would be the first one to be like, bye. I'll make sure the door will hit my ass on the way out. I'll see you in Orlando. But, you know, then again, Triple H is a big advocate of John Cena, a big advocate of Randy Orton, a big advocate of the guys that are currently doing their thing in the main event right now. Triple H, despite what you see on TV, is a Punk guy. You know, and so is Paul Lee. And if Paul Heyman is going to be around like he's been, you know, we're going to see a lot more of CM Punk, who we want to see. CM Punk's the WWE champion right now. Should be the face of the company. We all know he's not, but he's, you know, the face, the big star of the company right now. So, you know, with people like that in power, we're going to see a lot more of Punk, which we want.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to see a lot more of John, which a lot of us want. We're going to see a lot more of Randy Orton, which a lot of people like.
Can you not hear the crowds?
I'm hearing a lot more cheers than we have recently. People are starting to jump on the board there. I heard a lot. You know, I heard a lot of boos at SummerSlam on TV, but I also heard a lot of cheers.
I think they're just starting to make Punk a huge douche again, which is going to make Cena get a bigger pop by default, because all of the bandwagon hoppers that jumped onto CM Punk's dick on June 27th of last year are going to jump back off. You know, which will allow Punk's balls to swing freely again without all the extra weight.
Definitely. I've always thought I've never been a huge fan of Punk the person. I have been a fan of his work. He does do amazing things. I definitely want that 2-disc Summer of Punk Ring of Honor DVD they produced, because that shit looks like amazing. It's still on my Christmas list. Note to Mom. You know, if they allow him to free reign again, we're going to see come Monday, because he may or may not officially turn heel after he kicked Lawler in the back of the head. You know, kicking Jerry Lawler in the back of the head is a pretty good way to tell the fans fuck off, because the people love Jerry Lawler at the end of the day. So, you know, except the Kaufman family.
Yeah.
You know, Andy's family not so much, but the rest of the world, we love Jerry.
Yeah. What do y'all think about this news? Is this legit?
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
we've been hearing rumors for months about Hunter. You know, so.
You know, is the fact that WWE pulled this, you know, just something that they threw out there to try to generate discussion?
Like this, right?
Like we're doing right now.
That's right. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to happen?
Leave us comments, leave us video responses. Now, to some of your viewer-suggested topics that you wanted us to talk about, because I, like a cheap whore on Hollywood Boulevard, through the fact that we had nothing really talked about out on Twitter, you co-signed and retweeted
I did.
And we got some topics.
I'm not sure about cheap, because these fucking data things are expensive on our phones, man. It costs us money.
Excuse me.
We can't afford internet here.
Tommy Butler at
yes.
Black and Blue Devil.
Okay.
Wants to know, should WWE do a Brock versus Randy feud if Randy's going to be in the World Heavyweight title picture? I say no.
Okay.
Well, let me reiterate. I say yes and no. I think Brock is better suited going for the WWE title. He is a Raw guy. That's the Raw Championship. Randy is in the world title picture, which is the SmackDown belt. So the two probably won't collide really unless they set up a unification course. I would like to see Brock in a feud with Randy, because he's another one of the young, hungry top guys that came into the company around the same time Brock did. Brock obviously got everything a lot quicker. Randy had to work for his. But there's also the fact that Randy took the distinction of being the youngest world champion in WWE history
Way.
away from Brock Lesnar.
At the end of the day,
Not that Brock gives a shit about anything like that.
Yeah.
But it could make for an interesting basis of a feud.
And you're right, Randy had to roll hard because Brock just blew through the Rock at SummerSlam. Randy had to go out and find a missing belt that had been missing for 5 months.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. 5 months. I mean, that belt just put away in March of 2004. No idea where that thing went. According to Facebook, anyway, the great picture. Whoever put that up, that was fucking genius.
And then all of a sudden, in August of 2004, it just the heavens opened up and this gold belt just fell from above, and Randy just happened to find it.
Randy walked out.
A la Midian.
Yeah, he walked out in those hideous orange trunks of his. Then he walked out and like, "Ooh, look at that damn purdy!" Referee's like, "Fuck, you're the world champion, whatever." Yes, we're kidding.
Chris Benoit.
He does exist. He did exist.
I know. Yeah. I mentioned him at Access.
Yes, and you want a prize out of it. Ah!
Boom!
That's right. You mentioned AEW and Chris Benoit in the same promo, and you want a prize from the WWE. A prize of their poster boy at that, which is fucking awesome.
I wonder if WWE seen the footage of this to know that I won a prize for naming two names that shouldn't be named.
Oh, I think we know that they've seen it by this point. I mean, let's be real. As far as what they asked about Brock and Randy, since we're going to get back on topic now, I think they should put them together. Only because, let's see, who's Brock work with? John Cena and Triple H, two of the biggest names. They should do what you talked about, I believe it was either Monday or Tuesday night when we were talking about this. They should have Brock just come in and just roll through all the big names, leading to MetLife Stadium, leading to New Jersey, leading to the Dead Man and the Streak. And if Undertaker be like, "You're cute, Brock. Tombstone your ass. Shut up. My streak. Go away." But they already blew that because they had John beat him. Brock was supposed to win that match. It didn't happen. However, the complete decimation of the spirit of Triple H is definitely a huge step in the right direction at the end of the day.
Yes.
So to have Triple H be totally demoralized and essentially apparently taking over the company now as head man in charge of the office would mean that Brock's on the right path. And if they're going to have a team, let's say Team Lesnar Team Heyman versus Team Hunter, like you've been talking about, Randy be a good guy to lead Hunter's team.
And Cena.
And Cena, both those guys.
Sheamus,
the main top baby faces, and having Punk on the other side would be like you said, like you talked about, Punk called himself a Paul Heyman guy back in this promo last year. So I think having Randy be a feud for Brock would be good. Maybe not one-on-one in Survivor Series, maybe that 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 scenario, and then at the Royal Rumble, while Punk and Rock are doing their thing, maybe Brock and Randy could do it then, leading into WrestleMania, which will be Brock versus whoever's left besides Undertaker, because Undertaker, we're still hearing it's going to face John Cena. So okay. I think they should go. Yes.
Rex Christofferson at Rexo1991 says, "What would you think if Daniel Bryan and CM Punk formed a tag team?"
I think they'd be the least liked team of the AJ administration, for one thing. I honestly, I'd never seen either one of them as a tag wrestler, ever.
No. Well, Punk, Second City Saints with Colt.
But you know what? Punk has always been suited for a world championship, whether it's the Ring of Honor, the World Heavyweight, the WWE, the TNA, whatever you want to call it. Never was TNA champion, should have been, goddammit. NWA.
I don't know about that. Back then, he wasn't quite ready for it yet.
Well, no, but
he was still Raven Splunky. He hadn't even started his big run in ROH yet.
Well, but then again, NWA TNA back then was the land of the lesser known guys, except for like Raven, Jarrett, and a couple other people. And AJ Styles won the world title. Everybody was like, unless you're watching Wild Side, like who the fuck is AJ Styles at the end of the day? Unless you're going to Gorilla or watching NWA Wild Side, you know who the hell AJ was.
True.
So,
but it was apparent early on that he was their golden boy. He was their John Cena that they were trying to groom for big things. True.
I actually take back what I said, because Gorilla didn't start until 03. TNA was 02, so I take that back. I apologize. But as far as them as a tag team, obviously
they would call themselves the best in the world.
Right. Fucking Punk stole that from Bryan. Shit. I honestly think that they are much better suited as singles wrestlers, and I think that with Punk now apparently making the full turn, don't know yet still, I think there is still a way to save Bryan at this point and turn him back babyface, or even just keep him on the tweeners fence and turn the American Dragon loose. Like, you know what? You talk about respect, you talk about you being the best in the world. I was best in the world, but while you were still freaking, licking Raven's boots there, big boy. Let's have another go at this, shall we? Maybe have them at Survivor Series.
Okay.
But not as a tag team.
I think they'd make a great tag team, but it would definitely be one of those very combustible element storylines that would not be a long-term team by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But they would more than likely get a run with the belts. So.
Yeah. If they were put together, they'd probably get a shot.
And then the last topic we're going to talk about today comes from Mr. Green in the library with the lead pipe.
That's right.
At Court of Crows. And he wants to know if we could change the WWE pay-per-view structure, what pay-per-views would we rearrange, bring back, or do away with? And if I may, since you started that one off,
please.
I actually did my homework.
Oh, okay, very good.
I came up with a list of what I would do.
Very good.
First things first, 6 pay-per-views only.
Okay.
That way you've got a good month or so, month and a half to 2 months to build to the events.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is sorely missing. It's like pay-per-view happens, next night on Raw we're already talking about the next pay-per-view, which is in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So much shit gets lost in the shuffle doing that.
Yes.
January, Royal Rumble. No questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
March would be WrestleMania / Night of Champions, because I would make it where every belt is on the line at Mania.
How it should be.
Exactly. There'd still be, you figure you got 8 to 9 matches at Mania. There's 6 titles right now. So you'd still have room for 2 or 3, non-title matches. Money in the Bank would come back to Mania.
I was just going to say.
So now you got 7 matches.
Mm-hmm.
And, a couple really big feuds that haven't centered around a title.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can have your matches like Triple H Undertaker, Rock Cena, and still, have all the titles and have the titles mean something.
Yes.
May would be the return of the King of the Ring. July would be SummerSlam. It would get moved up a month. Still fucking hot as hell. Still summertime.
But then you lose your birthday month. You lose your birthday.
I do. But in order to space everything out so that it's every other month, it's got to come to July.
Okay.
I'm willing to sacrifice on my behalf for, everything to fall the way it should.
Well, at the end of the day, you're still getting your Battleground show every August. You're still getting your chop suey anyway, so it's all good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
September would be the return of Cyber Sunday, where the fans would get to choose everything.
Okay.
Because I always liked the Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday format, where they would throw either opponents or stipulations out there. We'd get to vote on how we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, more often than not, it was gimmicked and curved to what they wanted, but I would actually make this legit. And then November, of course, would be Survivor Series.
Okay.
So the big 4 would pretty much stay the way they are, with Mania being in March, guaranteed, and SummerSlam getting moved to July. I'd resurrect the King of the Ring for May, and Cyber Sunday for September.
Well, I will admit to not doing near as much homework as Jay. And I will pretty much piggyback off that, because I was definitely going to say keep 6 of them. And I definitely keep WrestleMania the way you have it, Night of Champions format, and the other 2 matches be the Streak and Money in the Bank.
But I thought you said the streak is dead. What more does Undertaker have to prove? You've been, going off about this since, April of this year.
I understand that.
So, there's no need for a streak match.
I still say, if they're going to have the Streak, which all signs are leading to it, if they're going to have the Streak, and we're talking about next year's schedule, they might have a Streak match. If not, then we have 7 Mania matches. 6 title matches, and then Money in the Bank. But definitely the Rumble in January, definitely the SummerSlam in July or August, definitely Survivor Series in November, I liked it even at King of the Ring. I was actually going to say King of the Ring in either May or June, because that's just, the King of the Ring is sorely missed by me. I love King of the Ring. And that way you have the Rumble Challenger face at Mania, the King of the Ring Challenger face at SummerSlam, and, you know, we'll come up with something that happened at Cyber Sunday where the winner of that faces the champion at Survivor Series. That way there's always something going on. There's always a story to be built for a title.
Well, plus you figure at Mania you've got the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Right.
That can come into hand
Anytime.
anywhere.
You can do that the next year, exactly.
One of the stipulation matches at Cyber Sunday can be number one contendership. Which people would you like to see in the match? And the top 3 or 4 contenders
each get a shot.
Get put into a fatal 4-way.
There you go. I like that. And then, you know, but definitely would lessen it. Definitely wouldn't add anything. It would definitely subtract. I get rid of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view and make the Chamber match happen randomly. Same with Hell in a Cell. They brought up a very good point. Someone brought this up on a forum. I forget what the hell. I don't know if it was online or a magazine or what. But the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is taking away the specialness of Hell in a Cell. Same with Elimination Chamber. That's why I figured the end of an era would be the end of an era, and that the Hell in a Cell match would be the last one you'd see, you know, on a pay-per-view or like a pay-per-view for a while, not just make sure they happen in October. Have Hell in a Cell be a feud ender, a gimmick ender, just be the end all.
Like the way it was created in the first place.
Exactly. Although the first one didn't end the feud.
No.
Because they went on to Rumble next year, and the career-ending casket match for Shawn Michaels. But yeah, definitely would shorten the schedule. Definitely would make it every other month. And
now, granted, this means that WWE would lose money on our watch because they wouldn't have, you know, revenue coming in every month from pay-per-views, but the pay-per-views would mean more.
Now, see, I disagree with that because a lot of people aren't buying the pay-per-views because there's just so goddamn many of them. We don't buy them all here.
True.
We buy Rumble, Chamber, Mania, because that's the road to WrestleMania. We'll buy Money in the Bank if it looks like there's a good card. SummerSlam if we're not there, which we almost always are.
And Survivor Series.
And Survivor Series.
So we buy 6.
Yeah, we buy the 6. We don't even buy Night of Champions, which is my favorite show of the year at the end of the day. Because I'm a huge championship mark. I love the titles. So I don't even get my favorite show of the year at the end of the day.
So, what do y'all think? This has been our episode for this week. Send in your comments. Send in your video responses. Let us know what you think of our revisionist pay-per-view format.
Please.
Let us know what you think about Triple H taking over the company, if that is in fact what's happening.
That's
again,
a big
it's just a
story.
rumor.
Yeah.
You know, let us know what you think about Bryan and Punk as a tag team.
What would be a good team name for them? How about I give you guys that challenge? A good team name for them, besides Best in the World, 'cause that's the obvious answer. Don't come up with that.
I said it first.
You said it first, and if you say it, you'll get marked as spam, I promise you. I will find a way with my lack of internet, goddammit.
So, for this week's episode of Dad's on Wrestling, I am the Renegade J.J. Williams.
And I am Jeff Meacham.
And we will see you next time.